Commissioner.
And Constables and Chief Suarez, so this is being live streamed by the pool camera. KHOU 11 is the pool today. So they were watching our live stream, they were recording it, and this is going to all stations, English, Spanish, here in Houston. And then Univision. Thank you, Commissioner. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here today as we celebrate the success of pay parity for law enforcement agencies in Harris County. My name is Sion Rhodes. I am Press Secretary for Commissioner Lesley Briones. We'll hear from the following speakers today. Commissioner Lesley Briones, Constable Alan Rosen, Harris County Precinct 1, Constable Mark Herman, Harris County Precinct 4, Constable Terry Albritton, Harris County Precinct 5, Assistant Chief Saul Suarez, Harris County Sheriff's Office, Rodney Jackson, Coordinator for Houston City College's Law Enforcement Program, and closing remarks from Commissioner Lesley Briones. With that, please welcome your Harris County Precinct 4 Commissioner, Lesley Briones.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Lesley Briones, and I'm so grateful to serve as your Harris County Commissioner. But today I stand here before you not only as your commissioner, but also as a mom of 3 daughters and as somebody who has been the victim of crime several times. So this is deeply personal to me. Today we stand together to update the community on the progress we are making and the success of our historic investment in law enforcement. We were at risk, to be completely candid with you. Harris County was at risk of losing our experienced officers. Harris County had been behind in what we were paying our constable deputies and sheriff deputies. And then when HPD, and I applaud their efforts, raised HPD salaries 36.5% over 5 years, we were even more at risk, especially when HPD had over 1,200 vacancies. We were already behind, then now we were all of a sudden further behind. And we were already struggling to fill, we had approximately 421 vacancies in April of 2025. As I saw this unfold, it was imperative to me to take action because there was no way I was going to let our experienced officers that our taxpayer dollars had paid for their training and experience to lose them. And you can't blame them when they're providing for their families. We were not going to continue being behind the market. We were not going to lose these experienced officers. So we did the right thing to honor their service and sacrifice, and the responsible thing. We met the market. We achieved this pay parity. Specifically, in 2025, Harris County Commissioner's Court, myself, Commissioner Garcia, and Commissioner Ramsey, we passed a historic investment in law enforcement, approving $118.4 million across our Harris County law enforcement agencies to begin this 5-year pay parity. This, again, was critical. We want response times to be as prompt as possible. We couldn't lose officers because this would have meant slower response times, burnout of our law enforcement officers, higher overtime and personnel costs, and just to emphasize this point again, losing one deputy costs approximately $100,000 of training. We took decisive action because on my watch, I was not going to let this happen. Not only as your commissioner, but again as a mom. When you call 911 in unincorporated Harris County or in the other areas patrolled by our constables and our sheriff, you want someone to show up as soon as possible because that is the safety and security we all deserve. And we're here today to tell you that this historic investment has worked. It has been a success. Specifically, turnover is down over 50% after these raises. I'll say that again. Turnover is down over 50%. And as you will hear from my colleagues, the classes of new cadets for new officers that we are seeing we are seeing, again, a renewed interest in coming to serve Harris County to protect our families because now we are paying market. To further emphasize this, Harris County was 19th when you compared us to the largest agencies in Texas, 19th. And we're used to being number one, aren't we, Harris County? Well, we're not number one yet, but we are fourth now of the largest agencies. And I'm very proud of that because as somebody who has chosen to make Harris County home, every day when our law enforcement officers leave their homes, leave their families, not knowing if they will come home because they are standing up to protect our families, the least we can do is pay them fairly and pay them competitively. And we all win. And this has been a success. And I am committed to making sure that Harris County never falls behind again, because our safety is of paramount importance, and delivering public safety is the fundamental responsibility of government. And I'm so thankful to our 8 Harris County constables, in particular the 3 constables that I have the privilege and pleasure of working with every day. Harris County Precinct 1 Constable Alan Rosen, Harris County Precinct 4 Constable Mark Herman, and Harris County Precinct 5 Constable Terry Albritton. And we will hear from my colleagues momentarily. I'm also very thankful to Harris County Sheriff Art Gonzalez. He was not able to join us today, but in his place we have Assistant Chief Saul Suarez, who we will hear from. In sum, we must honor the service and sacrifice of our law enforcement officers, and this historic investment has been a success. I look forward to making sure that we are doing everything possible to make Harris County as safe as it can be. Muy brevemente en español, buenos días a todos. Soy Lesley Briones, su comisionada del Condado Jerez de Precinto 4, pero más que nada estoy aquí hoy feliz como mamá de 3 hijas y como alguien que fui víctima del crimen. Este es muy personal para mí y tengo un respeto profundo por la valentía de nuestros oficiales, el servicio y sacrificio que hacen cada día para proteger a todos nosotros es algo que, bueno, yo tengo respeto profundo. Y la verdad es que el Condado Jerez estábamos en riesgo de perder a estos oficiales. Nuestros salarios no eran competitivos. El Condado Jerez estaba en lugar 19 entre las agencias más grandes de Texas. En abril de 2025 teníamos 421 vacantes y esto significaba, número 1, tiempos de respuesta más lentos. Y es tan importante porque cuando nosotros llamamos a 911, merecemos que alguien esté allí lo más pronto posible. Número 2, esto significaba oficiales agotados. Número 3, más gastos en horas extra. Y número 4, perder un solo oficial costaba más de $100,000 en entrenamiento. No había otra opción. Teníamos que luchar por sueldos justos y tomar acción. En 2025, en la Corte de Comisionados, yo, la comisionada Briones, comisionado Adrián García y el comisionado Tom Ramsey, aprobó una inversión histórica de $118.4 millones para nivelar los salarios. Y hoy estamos aquí para contar a la comunidad los resultados, el éxito que hemos tenido juntos. La pérdida de personal bajó más de 50% con estos salarios justos. Y eso significa que nuestra comunidad es más segura. Seguiré luchando por la seguridad de todas las familias del condado Harris y apoyando a quienes nos protegen. Y ahora estamos muy felices porque las clases para las nuevas clases de las fuerzas del orden del condado están llenas y vamos a ir más. Así que queremos que todos ustedes que están escuchando, si siempre ha querido ser una de las personas de nuestras fuerzas del orden, con los constables o con el alguacil, estamos aquí y queremos las personas que verdaderamente quieren servir y proteger nuestra comunidad. Y finalmente, como mamá, eso me hace muy feliz, que ahora hemos bajado ese riesgo y hemos aumentado la seguridad pública. And so I'm so happy here, not only as your commissioner who approved and voted and championed this historic investment, but more importantly as a mom, knowing that we were able to keep these experienced officers, knowing that our classes are full. There's such a demand now for individuals who want to come join our sheriff's office and our constables. This is a success. And I am very thankful to be joined here today, and we will next hear from Constable Alan Rosen, Constable of Harris County Precinct 1.
Let me start by saying that Commissioner Briones' leadership on this matter has been stellar, and the other commissioners that voted for it. It was a year ago, almost in October, this October will be a year, that things fundamentally changed for law enforcement in Harris County, and it's because of that leadership. I can tell you right now, the men and women of law enforcement before this pay raise had to work extra jobs constantly just to make ends meet, and fundamentally that's not right. So with this historic raise, our officers are able to be with their families more often, which is going to help with mental health, which is going to take some of the stress away from their everyday lives. And it's things that are meaningful like this that truly do change police officers' lives. We have a very stressful job. The market has been bare. People don't want to be in law enforcement. With all the noise going on, they just don't want to be there. And so with pay coming up to where it should have been, this is going to make our job a whole lot easier. Morale has improved. We want, the public should, and I expect the best, most trained, educated officer on the street that we can possibly get. And with these historic pay raises, we are able to accomplish that goal. And I just can't thank you enough, Commissioner. I can't, because it has been a game changer for Harris County law enforcement. I didn't have many openings, and I still don't have many openings, and my colleagues don't either. So this has really transformed the law enforcement landscape in Harris County, and we're looking forward to this year's pay raise. I know all the men and women in law enforcement that work in Harris County are looking forward to that, and I can just tell you morale is high. We are getting the best candidates, and we're getting them from all over the state, people that are willing to move from Dallas and San Antonio and Austin to come here to Harris County because of these historic pay raises. So I want to thank the members of Commissioners Court that made this happen, and your continued investment in law enforcement is paramount. I can also say this is what collaboration is all about. When law enforcement community and leaders such as Commissioner Briones work together, incredible things can happen. Thank you very much. And next is my colleague, Constable Mark Herman, Harris County Precinct 4.
Thank you. I'm not going to go over everything they said, but everything they said is 100% accurate. I said this in Commissioner's Court when they were trying to get this pay raise over the hurdle, and honestly, a lot of us never thought it would happen. But this is historic. This has never happened in my 41-year career in Harris County. But I can tell you that Commissioner Briones' leadership on this, and Commissioner Garcia and Commissioner Ramsey really saved Harris County law enforcement, because there was no doubt they were leaving and going to either go to the city or go elsewhere. Harris County has been the training ground for the majority of the law enforcement agencies in our region for the past 10 years. Not anymore. And I could go into the morale being up, to having less positions, less people, leaving our agencies. But they went over it and covered it very well. We're grateful. We're very motivated. This is not a partisan issue. This has always been a public safety issue, and Harris County is much, much safer today, this year, than it was in the previous years, thanks to Commissioner Briones and the other two commissioners. And with that said, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Constable Terry Albritton. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you, Commissioner, for inviting us to be here for this very important announcement about the pay parity. I don't know if y'all recall about a year ago when HPD announced their pay raise, we were about to lose most all of Harris County law enforcement. And there were representatives from the city that said, we're not trying to compete, but either you guys pay them or we'll pay them. So that really struck a chord with our commissioners, and they took the steps necessary to preserve our personnel. It's helped us immensely in filling our ranks. Just a few years ago, it was pretty common. Precinct 5 ran with about 50 openings. That's a big hit for an agency my size. Now we have, at last check, I have 3. So it's a massive difference. So, and in addition to that, and the commissioner spoke about the attrition rate. We would lose between 30 and 50 people every year going to smaller agencies that were paying more, and some that just said, I can't afford to be a police officer anymore. I got to change career fields. That's not happening anymore. That number's dropped to at least half of what it was. And when it comes to recruiting new personnel, the biggest tool we have is being able to pay a livable wage to these officers. So the word about our salary obviously has spread, and it's gotten out to our local police academies. And we have a much larger pool of quality personnel to choose from now. We used to only accept roughly 1 out of every 30 applications we received. That number's down to about 1 in 11 now. You're going to hear in a minute from Rodney Jackson with Houston Community College on how these salaries have impacted our local police agencies. But again, thank you to the commissioners that support this and continue to support it. It doesn't end with the first step. This is a 5-year commitment. So thank you for everything that you've put into this. And I need to introduce Chief Suarez with the Harris County Sheriff's Office.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Saul Suarez, and I'm Assistant Chief with the Harris County Sheriff's Office. It is an honor to be able to speak to you today on behalf of Sheriff Ed Gonzalez and the hardworking men and women of the Harris County Sheriff's Office. In October of 2025, Commissioner Briones and the majority of the Commissioners Court adopted a budget that truly reflects the value of the men and women who wear the Harris County badge. The court also helped us retain our top veteran police officers by making sure they never have to leave to another agency for better pay. Today, Harris County is the gold standard among law enforcement agencies when it comes to taking care of our personnel, and also because they're also taking care of all of you. Once again, I want to say thank you to Commissioner Briones, Commissioner Ramsey, Commissioner Garcia. Your investment is paying off. Here's what's happened since the pay raises took effect last year. The Harris County Sheriff's Office has seen a 35% increase in applications for all deputy positions. We've nearly doubled our hiring pace, bringing on 87 new deputies in the months since the last pay raise took effect, compared to just 50 the year before that. Just as important, we've cut the peace officer attrition rate roughly in half. Resignations and retirements combined dropped from 89 down to just 43 in the same period last year. With 2 Sheriff's Office Academy currently going on, producing about 120 deputies per year, and an additional 30 or so lateral deputies currently in the pipeline, we're actually now building real momentum when it comes to staffing. Harris County has truly been the corner and established itself as a region's leader when it comes to recruiting and retaining law enforcement professionals and talented professionals. Again, thank you, Commissioner Briones, Commissioners Court, for having our back, for putting public safety first. Harris County is safer because of your support and also your investment. I'd like to say some comments in Spanish now. Buenos días, me llamo Saúl Suárez, soy jefe asistente del Departamento del Alguacil del Condado de Harris. Estoy agradecido hoy porque quiero dar las gracias a la comisionada Lesley Briones y a los comisionados Adrián García y Tom Ramsey por habernos ayudado el año pasado a darnos un aumento de saldo que era histórico. Este aumento de saldo nos ha ayudado con nuestra retención y también para poder recluir la gente más calificada para poder protegerlos a ustedes. Y quiero que sepan que por esa inversión que hizo el Tribunal de Comisionados, ahorita nuestra agencia tenemos una reducción de gente que se quiere ir a otras agencias para que les paguen más. El año pasado recluimos casi 100 nuevos oficiales, comparado a 43 el año anterior. Este es un ejemplo de que quiero que sepan que lo importante que es lo que hicieron la Corte de Comisionados, pero también quiero decirles que esto también va a ayudar a la seguridad pública para poder elevar y para poder nosotros darles el mejor oficial para que responda a sus llamadas. Muchas gracias. Now I'd like to introduce Coordinator Rodney Jackson.
Good morning, everybody. I'd like to first affirm it was a wise decision on Commissioner Briones' part in championing this and pushing it through, because retention in law enforcement is a challenge. It's not only a challenge for the agencies, but it's a challenge also for the communities, because as stated, when these officers end up not being able to maintain a living wage, some of them are going to go. And more importantly, the good ones are going to go to the highest dollar because they have families to support. So this parity that's been established, it's going to be a benefit to the community as well as law enforcement. A little bit about what we do is we're fortunate at HCC in being able to offer academy classes. We've been doing it since the late 80s. We currently run 8 different classes a year, and we are turning away, as far as the interest now in law enforcement, some due to the pay issue, is we're turning away 2 to 3 times as many applicants that we can allow in a class. We have to cap our classes at 40 to ensure proper instructor-to-student ratios, and we're turning away sometimes. We have some orientations, 185 people show up. So with that said, we're fortunate we're also part of some of the smaller agencies that can't afford their own academies. They come to us, and they do their active recruiting there. And this is definitely, this whole parity thing is a big plus for everybody. And that's pretty much all I have to say.
So I want to thank all of the courageous men and women who serve Harris County every day to keep our families safe. I am proud that we were able to achieve pay parity together and pass it at Commissioner's Court, and I remain committed to making sure that Harris County is competitive, because when we pay our law enforcement officials fairly, when we pay them at market, we will keep the talent, the experience, the training here at Harris County, at our sheriff's office, and in our constable's offices, so that our families are even safer. And we will continue to invest in numerous public safety investments, because your safety is of paramount importance to me, and I believe deeply, especially as a victim of crime in the past, that government's fundamental responsibility is to champion public safety for every person who lives in our community. And so with that, we thank you. We are proud of the success. We look forward to continuing to build on this success, not only because it's the right and responsible thing to do, but again, because your safety is of paramount importance. So with that, I will turn it back over to Sion Rhodes, and we're happy to answer any questions. Thank you.